Welcome to the latest edition of the Rob and Blakey Commentary Box podcast. We are loud and clear on Welsh football. I'm the former BBC Wales football correspondent, Rob Phillips, and alongside me is my regular sparring partner, Nathan Blake, former Wales International and Premier League player. Once again, I'm daubed in the Christmas spirit. Nathan Blake is the Grinch, and we've got a few balloons. For those watching on YouTube or Spotify, we've got a number of balloons in the studio with the Grinch on. They're just for you, Nath.
It reminds me of you when we have a night out.
Okay.
We had a bit too much to drink. That's the colour, and very similar.
Well, yeah, no, that's the next morning.
Yeah,
don't
very
worry.
similar.
The green.
And that little tuft thing going on.
And as usual, we're speaking to you from the University of South Wales Atrium, with the valued support of the media and journalism courses. I say it all the time. Tell your friends we're available on all social media outlets, X, Blue Sky, Instagram, Thread. You think I know it by heart by now, wouldn't you? Watch us on YouTube or whatever you get your podcasts, including Spotify. Massive week for Welsh football. Absolutely huge. We're recording this on Wednesday after Cardiff City's really heroic display in the League Cup quarter-final against Chelsea. We'll review that later. But before, we've got a full preview of the first Welsh derby in the Championship this season as Swansea entertain Wrexham on Friday night. We hope to reunite a couple of old mates who are on the opposite side of the derby argument this week. But at the moment, we've just got the one. And it is the former Wrexham striker, Andy Morrell. Greetings, Andy. Welcome to the podcast.
All right, and
how we doing, chaps? Thanks for having me on.
We went for the best of the two. That's what we thought.
Well, it felt like I was on my own quite a lot of the time when I played with Truns, when I was running around.
Yeah, we hope Lee Trundle will join us in a few minutes because you were together, early 2000s and playing for Wrexham.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he came probably a year after I had started. Very similar journeys, non-league, etc. But yeah, when we just hit it off in the reserve straight away, he went in the first team a little bit sooner than me. But then the 2002-03 season, we enjoyed a really good season together and managed to get a promotion under us as well.
You're being very, very modest there. You scored 34 league goals, the highest in all four divisions.
Yeah, it went well. It was, sometimes, I know Blakey will know it as well, that the relationship when you get a relationship like me and Truns had when we played, it just suited. He used to love the ball to feet. I used to run around, and we used to complement each other's game really, really well. And he's some player. He is some player. He had a beautiful left foot. He scored all sorts of brilliant goals, and I was the one that sort of tapped in his rebounds and fed off bits. So it helps when you have a good team around you. But when we and him clicked, we had a really good season.
Yeah, Andy Dibble, Darren Ferguson, all in that team.
Andy Dibbs?
Yeah.
Andy Dibbs. Roger Freestone was what?
No, that's Wrexham, Andy Dibble.
Oh, right. Yeah. So
it wasn't a bad team. I actually put your two names in AI, Andy. And it came up, it said, whoever AI is, bless him, or her.
Yeah.
Dynamic duo, Morrell, the powerful finisher, Trundle, the skillful magician. And then I was reading a quote from Dennis Smith, your manager at the time. Great guy, Dennis.
Very good.
He said, with Lee Trundle in the side wanting to be a star, but Andy scoring the goals, there was a danger of a personality clash. Thankfully, there's room in football supporters' hearts for more than one hero, and both men earned the right to be hero worshipped that season.
That's very kind. That's very nice. Yeah, we hit it on and off the pitch. You know, we get on fabulously well, and when you get that relationship, it can just work for your team, and it certainly did that season. You know, we've already said it. The Carlos Edwards, Eddie on either wing, very, very similar to the formation that Wrexham are playing at the moment, the 3-5-2. Daz Ferguson orchestrating things, Jim Whitley, Brian Carey, Dennis Lawrence. You know, these types of people in your team. We had leaders, we had characters, we had pace, we had a bit of everything. And the team actually reminds me a bit of the team that we've got going on now.
Mm-hmm. Do you when you said you had a great partnership on and off the field, would I be right in saying you got up to some really childish antics together? Because I know my partners like John McGinley, that's all we ever done was everything was a joke, right? And we can't mention some of the things, but is that how you two used to get on?
Yeah. We're just, because we came in late to the game, we were just totally into giving it a go. You know what I mean? And trying our best every training session and enjoying it while we were there as well, because we knew how quickly it could soon be taken away from us. And so we were just having a go every day, enjoying our football, enjoying winning football matches, enjoying scoring goals. We did it in the reserves when we first started, and then that just developed into the first team as well. And yeah, we got to a few antics. He was probably a little bit worse than I was, but
I don't believe that for 1 minute. Look at your nose growing on live. Your nose is growing live on air. What are you doing, Ant?
but yeah, we just had a really good time, really good time. And when you're playing with a smile on your face, you play your best stuff, in my opinion.
Best times of your life, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, in all honesty, where do you put the two teams at this current time, Swansea and Wrexham? Where do you place them? Who would you place as the favourite?
Oh, that's a good. Well, Swansea being at home, you'd probably put them favourites, but Wrexham's away form has been okay this year. Really tough to beat away from home. We've first 5 or 6 games we're conceding too many chances on our goal. But since then, since Don Hine really has come into the team, we've stopped that rot, and we've kept quite a few clean sheets. Our defensive record away from home is right up there in the top 3 in the league. So it's going to be a really tight game. Wrexham need a win. Haven't won in a few. So does Swansea. So I'm hoping that, fingers crossed, it'll be a decent game anyway.
Yeah, I gotta say, and a few weeks ago, I fancied Wrexham quite big for this game. It's 1 win in 6 now, but then 1 defeat in 11 in the league. So they're the draw specialists, aren't they? 10 draws. Nobody's got more draws in the Championship than Wrexham. We're not surprised they've made the step up. Have you been surprised, or given the money they spent in the summer, did you think this is how it's going to be?
No, because you never know when you bring 13 players in, how it's going to fall and how they're going to take to the team. There were a lot of changes in the summer, but they brought in some real quality players. And yes, they did spend money, but really that was just levelling us up to a Championship team. You know, we've still got National League players that started with us from the National League who are really outperforming where they probably should be. And so it's important that when we brought in and made a lot of changes, that the culture stayed, but the players and their abilities improved. And he certainly did that. And it's a really difficult job to keep the culture when you bring in better players. But like I said, the first few games were a bit hit and miss when we were finding our feet, but we've certainly found that now. He's got some real quality players, and I think if we're mid-table and above this season, I think it's been an incredible achievement. That's for me personally, even though we've spent 30 million, like I said, it is just levelling us up to be a competitive Championship team. The big thing at the moment is we're missing both wing-backs, who would be our first choice, I think, in Phil Parkinson's eyes, in Kabore and Kakache. And they make a big difference to us offensively and defensively. Just that little bit extra quality to the ones that we've got in the team at the moment. So that's no disrespect to them either, because they've been excellent in the games that they've had to play. They just add that little extra quality, which makes us from a good team in the Championship to a very good team.
Yeah, and that sort of money you spent, I totally agree. You kind of done it in the National League, but probably bought better than where you were, right? But once you got to the Championship, it's a different beast. Like we say, it's the 5th, 6th best league in the world, right? So you can't go in there and expect, like, you know, National League, League 2 players to go in there and survive. I was saying at the start of the season, they were incredibly passive. Do you think that was a result of sort of trying to bed in a new team, new players what for them would be a new culture? because the culture clearly has stayed, and the players got a great loyalty towards the manager. That's huge.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think we've had better players in each division we've been in. That National League, we've had League Two, League One players. Same in League Two, League One, Stroke Championship, and League One. I don't think we were the second best team in the league, but we had a structure, a momentum that took us through and got us many results, very close games. But we coming out winning. But now into the Championship. Yeah, you're not going to have Premier League players in the league better. So what you have to do is you have to try and keep that culture, which is immense and had so much joy over the last 3 years, but get better players in to do it. And I thought that maybe he might go 4 or 5, but he knew what the level was like, and he decided to really rip it up and go again. And after watching the first 4 or 5 games, I understood why, because it is a big step up. I made it from in Blackpool when we went up, and it's huge. The pace of the game, the top end of the pitch, I think, is different to League One. You can't give up chances. They create chances so easily in the final third, and so we had to be competitive, and that meant bringing in a lot of Championship players that have played in good teams, and he's done that. Now they've settled in, they've bedded in, they understand what Phil Parkinson's asking of them. We are just hard to beat at the moment. I wouldn't say set alight anything, but we are definitely more aggressive in our intent than we were in the first few games, because I just didn't really think we knew what we were coming up against.
And there's no pressure to be successful in that division, but I think they will, right? Because I look at the draws when in the current situation, and I think it's incredibly positive, right? If you remember when Swansea went to the Premier League, and I remember Brendan Rodgers, and the first 6, 7, 8 games they kept drawing, and then they picked up a couple of wins, and all of a sudden, what it does for your dressing room is people are talking and saying, "Well, we've not lost. We're hard to beat." I think that's been incredibly important.
Yeah. Well, we're in games. That first and foremost, that's great. Do you know what I mean? Because we've not been hammered by anybody.
Yeah.
I've not seen a team in the league that I've gone, wow, they're.
Although you physically beat up Coventry, I was like, I shouldn't be. I should have got arrested for that result.
Well, that was just it's a great Championship game, that one. Do you know what I mean? We played Hull last week, and Wednesday we got beat, and that was probably the first time that I've seen this year that we weren't really at the races. We didn't quite turn up. We didn't go with the same intent and tenacity that we have done in the last 11 games that's got us our success. And if you do that, you get beat, and that's what happens in this league. And I thought they were good. I thought Preston were good as well, and we came out with a point. So if you can pick up anything, point at Ipswich, they're really good results, because you're going places that are, much bigger crowds, much
fancy
bigger
teams
budget.
as well.
Yeah, and you're hanging in there. Okay, you're not going to create a great deal, but we're in it. We're in the games, and you never know, because you might nick a little 3 points when you sneak a goal and leg it out of there with the 3 points with a great defensive display. And that's what we've done, and that's what Phil Parkinson, I think, has done really well in his career. He sets a really good foundation of let's be hard to beat, and then from that we can move on. And I think that's how this team will evolve this year. And if we can get our 2 wing backs back, they make a big difference in our offense, because they can turn defense into attack really quick.
Yeah, we should explain, Andy. You see Wrexham every game now because you work for Wrexham TV. So you're ideal to talk about them. And you've seen a lot of Kieffer Moore arrived at the club, big pressure. Same with Nathan Broadhead. You got to say, Windass, an absolute steal from Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah.
I think a lot of Josh Windass, a lot of clubs would have loved to have taken him, given the circumstances at Wednesday. Great move. As a striker, would you like to have played alongside Kieffer Moore?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think if Phil Parkinson went shopping in a footballer's shop and wanted to pick out a striker that suited his system off the shelf, I think Kieffer Moore would be the one that he would pick. Big, tall, physical, back post, both boxes really good. and he's just suited Phil's system down to the ground. And he's had the rewards off the back of it, with 8 league goals and 2 in the cup, 10 goals already this season. Been a real handful. Our issue is, who do you play? Do you play Broadhead with him? Do you play Windass with him? They seem to be flick-flacking in the team. They don't seem to play. They have played a few minutes together, but not overly together. And I suppose it's just finding that formula that the two are going to create. I think Windass plays better with more than Broadhead at the moment. They seem to have a better relationship. But Broadhead's such a real quality player, and when his confidence is up, he's been delightful to watch at times. It's just not been consistent enough at the moment to maybe keep it. So yeah, absolutely. I'd love to have played in this team. Blimey.
Shut up! You wouldn't have got in it. You wouldn't have got in it. You'd have been on the bench warming with me.
Well, actually, I looked the last time Swansea and Wrexham played was back in 2003. You actually started that game. It was a 0-0 draw, and you were replaced by one Lee Trundle after 89 minutes. And in the home game, you're going to tell me you won 4-0, aren't you? And who scored 2?
Yeah, I think I scored 2.
Yeah. I know.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Like,
Wait, let me just have a look on Wiki.
Yeah, well, Stonewall penalty as well that didn't get given.
Well, not that you've kept the record of it or anything like that.
No, I wouldn't. But yeah, it's a long time ago, and that's what I think has got the juices flowing so much for this game on Friday, is because it's been a while. Wrexham have been in the doldrums in the National League trying to get out. Swansea flying up to the Premier League and playing some unbelievable football in the Premier League. And now it's just sort of evening itself out a little bit. And yeah, Wrexham are pushing and going one way, and Swansea are just hanging in there, aren't they, at the moment, and trying to stay in there with a couple of changes in manager and the Swansea way. It's they're at a struggle a little bit. So
it'd be great.
yeah, it's going to be really interesting those side.
If Cardiff can get in there, we'll have those derbies next year. Swans stay up. That'd be fantastic. Would you look forward to that, Anne? See all 3?
Yeah. Well, we played Cardiff in the cup this year, and they did really well, and like they did last night. They were fantastic. What I listened to and gave it a real go. So these derbies are brilliant. They're brilliant to play in. They just add that little bit extra spice, and you want bragging rights, don't you? Both teams sort of mid-table at the moment, and you want, if there's a thing you want out of the season, it's we're the best team in Wales. Right?
Yeah, we used to say that back in the 90s, Cardiff. Remember those days, Rob? Going up to Wrexham and
before his time.
Well, that's why I said the 90s. That's why you look at the grey beard.
And of course,
it's not snowing out; it's the grey beard.
I know you'll be there Friday, Andy. Going back to the scene of one of your greatest triumphs.
Yeah,
this was a condition of him coming on. By the way, I've got to mention this game.
I have absolutely prepped Rob up to the hilt.
Go on then, mate. You can tell all.
No, we played Swansea. I was at Blackpool. We played Swansea in the final game of the season. We could have got automatic promotion had we won and Bristol City not won. But Swansea needed to win as well and to get into the playoffs. So we had a brilliant game down there. It ended 6-3. Trundle scored 2, I think, missed a penalty, and I scored 4 at the other end. And we ended up missing out on automatic, but got up through the playoffs, and Swansea missed out in the playoffs, unfortunately. So, good memories of that stadium, actually.
There we are, conditions sorted.
Yes.
And your history with Wrexham goes before you, and also you've seen the rise. You've been part of that Legends thing when they went to America as well, haven't you? Weren't you in that? I mean, what do you make of the global sort of appeal now of Wrexham, Andy? What did you make of the treatment you had when you were in the USA with the part of the Legends team?
Well, we went fairly early in the takeover, and it was absolutely insane. I can't say any other word. It was mad. We had, I think there were 40,000 tickets sold over the 4 days. and over 50% or over 40% were for Wrexham. And we had teams like Dortmund and Wolves and all sorts of teams from around the world there. But everybody was there to see the Wrexham, and their reach is frightening. The documentary has been an amazing thing for the football club, with where it's shown worldwide. And the place is just growing and growing and growing, and it just seems that there's always a story around everything to show. But what they have done so well is they've kept the club very community based. They've done it the right way. They've put the fans first in a lot of things that they've done. They're putting their money where their mouth is, which is certainly something that you don't get from all the owners that take over places. And what they have done is that they've done everything that they've said that they would do,
and then some.
And then some, yeah. And we've got a couple of new investors as well.
Yeah, I see that. A couple of billionaires.
Yeah, the company's got 900 billion worth of assets or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, Atletico Madrid, so you'll have a friendly there soon in the Wanda Metropolitana.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just crazy, but Wrexham had some really, really low times, and those low times have made this even better for me, because the fans stood up and were counted in really difficult times, and they absolutely deserve what they're getting right at this moment in time. And you've got to enjoy the roller coaster ride of where it could take us, how it might go. But you've just got to enjoy it, haven't you? Because it's I don't think personally there's a better football club to support at the moment out there.
No, and last one for you, Andy. How many times has Ryan or Rob rang you?
Oh, 0. I've met them, we do our match day live, which is a 45-minute live show before the game, at half time and after the game, as like an analysis and a review. And they came on first time, they just jumped us. It was absolute chaos on Saturday because they were there with the new investors. They just came in from behind. We didn't know they were coming on, and they just had 5 minutes with us, just chatting about the COP and them possibly playing on Saturday. So
don't you just love the way? That's what I love. I remember at the start of this, there was so many people saying, "Oh, it's a Hollywood thing. It's a bit of a fad. It will never last," and all that. And fair play to those guys. They've just been unbelievable, right? With what their dedication and, like you say, keeping in the community spirit. The fans come first, etc. It's been brilliant.
Yeah, and I think that, I don't know if they saw it happening like this at the start, but I think after they went to a couple of games, I think they were hooked, completely hooked. I think they hoped it would certainly go the way that it has done, but whether they were going to have as much connection as they are doing and have got, it's just so cool. And when they come over, it does. If you listen to Phil Parkinson, he on the weekend, he was saying it just lifts the place and the players, and they have been absolutely brilliant since minute one.
Aye.
Right, we've just been joined by your old sparring partner. He was always late to the far post, was Lee Trundle. He's been late for us.
All right, Trent.
How are you, Trent? You okay? And say hello to your big buddy.
Yes, and not sparring partner. We work together.
Hey, you're looking fit as a fiddle there, mate.
Thanks, Ron, mate. Thank you.
So we've reminisced about your partnership, Lee. I'll quote to you what I said. I told Andy that Dennis Smith said, AI said, Morrell was the powerful finisher, Trundle the skillful magician. Are you taking that?
Yeah, I'll definitely take that. Yeah, I think with the partnership with me and Andy, Andy's strengths and my strengths work together. Andy loved going in behind. He'd chase lost balls. For me, I like dropping into that number 10 role to get it. And, for me, if I used to get in a position, I'd sort of just pick a space out. And I know that Andy would always go and attack that space rather than sometimes probably wasn't a good ball, but Andy would make it look like a better ball. But I knew if I hit the empty space, he was always there. And when he got there, he could finish with every different type of goal as well. So he was the perfect partner for me.
Was he your favourite partner, Trons?
Do you know what? I would say he was, I'd have to go Akin Fenwell as my favourite partner because he set me more up for goals. So
Ah.
the other way round. I set Andy up more. We were, and listen, as a striker, you want to be the goal scorer.
You
I
do,
don't care
you
what
do,
anyone says.
you do.
But I think once you fit into a partnership with someone, you've got to realise what the strengths are. And for me, Andy in them positions, that was more of a strength of us working together, and that's why we work so well.
I'm just leaving now. See you later.
It was.
Yeah, Dennis Smith said you were both hero worshipped anyway, Lee. Although he said you were the one wanting to be the star, but Andy scoring the goals. There was a danger of a personality clash. Thankfully, there's room in supporters' hearts for more than one hero. You both were. So you'll take that, yeah?
Yeah, 100%. And I don't think, if you looked at mine and Andy's relationship, it was never, we got on really well back then. We still do to this day. So it was never a thing of like who scores or who does the most in that. For us, I understood my role and what worked well for Andy, and Andy understood what worked well for me as well. So I think as a partnership, we never had a crossword with each other. We always enjoyed playing with each other, and, you could see that on the pitch.
Blakey, who have you had like that?
John McGinley.
Yeah, at Bolton, yeah.
Yeah. Where it just, you don't discuss it. You obviously train together from time to time, but in the game, you just know each other's strengths and weaknesses, and it just happens automatically. And you've got to be friends. Were you room partners as well? You two?
Sometimes it was, when it used to change, didn't it?
Okay.
Yeah, they take them around, yeah.
So I spent a lot of time, me and John McGinn roomed together as well. So not at the beginning of my career at Bolton, but once we started and in the championship that year, 96, 97, we were just like inseparable all the time.
Like you and me now on this podcast.
Yeah.
Rob and Blakey.
Yeah.
I'm the big man. He plays off me.
Yeah. You can't run, that's why.
Are you looking on Friday, Lee?
Looking forward to it. It's great to have this game, and although it's, we call it a Welsh derby, although it's not a derby game like that, it is a Welsh derby because, the two teams wouldn't have played each other for a long time, and especially at this level as well. So I think what happened off the pitch, what's happening off the pitch with our both clubs as well, with Ryan Reynolds and Rob, and you got Snoop Dogg and Modric on our side, that makes it even bigger again. But for me, it'll be brilliant to see Wrexham come down to Swansea and to be playing in the Championship, because, that was the club that gave me my first chance at professional football. It's a club that I always look out for the results for, to see how they're doing. And obviously, Swansea is my club now, so it's great to see them playing each other.
Mm. And I'll ask you, we've asked Andy about Kieffer Moore. What about Jan Vipotnik? How well has he done, Lee? They're both on 8 league goals this season.
Yeah, he's done unbelievable. And I think once he gets in them positions, he's got an unbelievable strike on him, and he can finish. Probably, obviously, a different type of player to Kieffer, but the same way, if you give them the right delivery, the chances are it's going to be a goal. And Kieffer is someone who Swansea will have to definitely watch out for.
Yeah, is it a bit less physical than Kieffer Moore, Jan Vipotnik, would you say?
Yeah, but I think it was the introduction of another striker that seemed to elevate him. Would you agree with that, Lee?
Yeah, 100%. And for me, it's, people go on about that, but if you're getting one of your strikers who's firing, it doesn't matter if the other one's not.
Yeah, absolutely.
That still has got him going as well. And we all know as strikers, when someone else gets brought in when you're already there, it sort of fires you up a bit, because you feel as though they're coming in to take your place. And with Vipotnik, it certainly worked that way.
Yeah. Have you seen much of Vipotnik, Andy?
No, I haven't. No, I'm doing my research tomorrow for the game, so I've got the COCOMs on Friday, and hoping that a bit of hospitality might come my way from the LT10 bar, but I'm just waiting.
Good finisher, and
really good finisher,
really good finisher, and never takes more than 1-2 touches maximum. He's not like, you won't see him dribble past people, but any options he's got, and good movement in the box as well. Good striker. Better than I thought he was, actually. This season he seemed to have flourished, and like I say, that introduction of the other striker, that competition, seems to have fired him, and he looks so much better than what he did last.
Yeah, definitely.
Lee, what does Swansea have to do to counter Wrexham? Because I was saying a few weeks ago, I watched the Swansea and Wrexham game at the same time when they're different places, obviously. One on telly, one on the iPad. And I felt Swansea's intensity was down on what Wrexham brought. But then I was there last week for the Oxford game and saw the Pompey game on telly. And there was much more aggression, which is what Vito Matos said after his first game, watching, didn't he, after the Bristol City game? We need more aggression.
We said it exactly the same,
Yeah.
They were lightweight.
So do you think it's there now, Lee?
Well, I think he's working on that and trying to instill it into the boys. For me as well, it's a bit, once you break them lines, I think we've got to go forward a lot sooner, where I think sometimes we're stuck in that one of we want to keep the ball too much and everything's got to be 100% pass to keep it, rather than we need to force a little bit. Where you look at Wrexham, I've only seen little bits this season, but once they get into the areas, they are direct and they want to move the ball forward, which for me is the right way. You know, you get it up to your players who can cause problems. And I think if we can put that little bit of intensity, when we do break them lines, we go forward again rather than wait for teams to get back in and build. But I think that will be the key, you know, how quick and how sharp we are in that final third to make things happen.
That's one of my bugbears, you know. When I used to play, when I used to play wing, right? So the idea was get the ball to the winger, and if you're fortunate enough to be one-on-one, you got to beat your fullback. Now, wingers get one-on-one, and they're not even tired, right? It's not like, oh, I've just made 6 runs. I'll just pass it back to my right back or my left back. I'm like, do you know how hard people work to get you into that space to be one-on-one? And then you just pass it back. I swear it does my head in. But it seems to be coming back now where wingers are actually attacking fullbacks, especially outside rather than just inside. It became this thing where everyone's going inside and shooting. And now it seems to be a return to, right, I'm going to go outside and I'm going to whip the ball in for my striker, which is what we want, right, gentlemen, as strikers?
Go on.
Yeah, absolutely. And Phil Parkinson's done it since National League with Wrexham. He's played wing back straight away, plays them really high and wide if they can get a bit of possession. And their first thought is, I don't even want to beat the man. I want to just be able to get half a yard and put it in the box. Ryan Barnett's been amazing at it over the last 3 years. He doesn't necessarily beat his man. He just gets half a yard and slings it in there. And they know that the big striker, Ollie Palmer, whoever, Sam Smith, Kieffer Moore, they're going to be at the back post and somebody else is going to be making their way across the near post. And it was very similar to what we were like in 2002-03, you know, exactly the same with the 2 wide men. They just got the ball in the box and we were told to go and head the thing in, and it's simple. It's not Pep Guardiola-esque, but I think it's so effective, and it's done Wrexham a real treat over.
But I slightly disagree with you there, Anne, because that's where Haaland gets his goals. They have to cross the ball for that striker to score the amount of goals he gets. They have to, like Silvino has become this player who seems to check back all the time, where Doku has improved no end and is this player who's whipping the ball in constantly. I think, you know, without wingers who cross the ball, strikers, you're lucky to get double figures most seasons. Yes.
Well, I think when we played, you know, if you look at you as a centre forward, you got told if you're not there when that cross comes in, it's your fault. Mm-hmm. So it was like they just had to put that ball in, and if you weren't there, you were the one who was getting shouted at. Where, as you said there, Blakey, as you'll see a winger 1-on-1 in the final third, they'll turn back out, and it can end up back with the goalkeeper sometimes. What is the point of putting yourself in that position?
Exactly.
You're going to pass it back and go
you sound as frustrated as me, Truds. You sound as frustrated as me, mate.
Honestly, it's my bugbear. Because I think if you're a wide man, your eyes should light up to be 1-on-1 with someone to go and take them on. If anything, you know, I used to get moaned at for trying to take people on too much, and if you would have looked at some of the wingers, would have been the same. It's like when you're in a position, you've got to go and commit them defenders and get your crosses in, because as you say, that's where your goals come from.
So I didn't realise I'd come across a meeting of OAP strikers reminiscing about the good old days when they had wingers.
Hey, Rob, you're the oldest out of us.
Hey! I've always loved you, Lee Trundle. You cost me my voice at a hat-trick at Cheltenham one day.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, you remember that, don't you?
Yeah, I remember that one.
Tip one in from the edge of the box and a couple of close range, if I remember rightly. No.
Yeah, that was it, mate.
Brilliant stuff. So what's going to happen on Friday then, Lee? Swansea got home advantage and only 4 points still away from relegation zone. They need to build on the 2 home wins, don't they?
Yeah, 100%. Unlucky at Stoke on the weekend. You know, if you look at probably moments in the game, Stoke were the ones we were talking about wingers. I thought they were the ones who were most effective for Stoke and got themselves in areas to cross and also in the back post to score the goal as well. But, you know, we had a chance late on that got cleared off the line. So you know, at least we were still trying to push to win the game. It wasn't as though, to get something out of the game, sorry. It wasn't as though we sat back and just accepted the defeat. And I think with the home advantage on Friday, with it being a big game, big occasion, I think we've got to go out to touch. We've got to try and go and win that game. And I do think that we'll sneak a win on Friday night.
And?
Well, yeah, I'm gonna. We're just hard to beat at the moment, or have been for the past 10 games. You know, we've drawn a lot of games, so if your money's going down anywhere, I would have gone for a draw. But now Lee said that, I'm going for an away win.
Now we are sparring partners, Rob.
Yes. I'm ahead of the game again, Lee. You know that. Do you think both? I'll ask you both as well. Andy, Lee, do you think both will spend? Both clubs will have to spend in January, or do you think they will? Lee first.
No, unless people go out to the door, I wouldn't say, Rob. I don't think they'd be spending money. You know, over the summer, spent a lot for Swansea City. You know, we made a lot of signings. So unless people go out of the door, I can't see us doing that. But it depends where we are in the league as well. You know, it might come to a point where we might have to do that. But hopefully, we'll have climbed the league out of that, climbed up the league, and then, you know, being away from that bottom end.
Andy?
Yeah, I think we'll see a couple go out. We've got a few that have been injured that are coming back from injuries that might not get much football. So they'll probably be looking for 6 months worth of football at the end of from Christmas to the end of the season. I would like to see some help for Kieffer Moore. We haven't got anything that's very similar to him if he does miss, and he's been so important for us. So another type like that may come through the door, and a bit of cover for our wing backs as well, because the two that we've got out, we do miss them. So I think they might do a bit of business, but it won't be a lot. But it might just be a couple of real quality ones additions.
Yeah, and how much have you seen the new gaffer then, Lee? Vito Matos, what have you made of him so far?
Yeah, I've seen him a couple of times. I've seen him around the dressing room with the boys after games and stuff like that. And, you know, he's got a bit of a charisma. He seems as though the lads are all like him. You know, they're taking his message on board, what he wants to do. And I thought you could see little bits of the Swansea way coming back against Stoke, where we are trying to play out a little bit more and be a bit more comfortable on the ball. So, you know, obviously with his backroom staff not being there yet, it's a hard one where he's at that time where he's had to do it. And I know Joe and Leon have been in there helping, but, you know, once he gets that settled, you know, I can see us picking up a bit. But I've been happy with what I've seen up to now.
Yeah. And the arms are looking strong. Lee, how's the boxing going?
Yeah, all right. I had my second fight on Friday night, which I won with a stoppage in the third round. So it was nice to get that win after the first defeat. But it's something that I'm loving. I'm loving the training. I'm loving learning. You know, obviously, I've only been doing it since start of October. So, you know, a novice at it. But, you know, getting a little bit better each day and enjoying it.
The white collar. Is that with Enzo Mack, are you training, or?
So I was in with Enzo, yeah, for the first one. Then I was over at the next one was a white collar. So that was at a warehouse gym in Swansea. So I was in with them. But there's another footballers one in Liverpool coming up in April. So that's another one that I'll look to get on as well.
There you go, and any thoughts?
No, I'll leave it to you, mate.
You value your good looks too much, do you?
Oh, that's cold, mate. That's cold.
Well, no.
Says Tom Cruise here, by the way.
No,
Tom Cruise
hang
here.
on. Lee Trundle has always prided himself in his good looks. He's always been a fashionista when it comes to footballers, haven't you, Lee? You'll say that as well, Andy, won't you?
Oh, absolutely. He always looks $1 million. You know, so, you get them gloves up, mate, and get working on that.
Yeah, definitely, mate.
Yeah, believe it.
Right, well, who's buying who a drink on Friday then?
I'll buy Andy one.
I'll do when you come up to see us.
Nice one, mate.
Brilliant. Hey, listen, guys, thanks for joining us. Been fantastic
Really appreciate
reuniting the both of you.
Yeah,
and,
great to see you both. Looking well, guys.
Yeah, and I'll see you both on
Thanks,
Friday.
boys.
Can't wait.
See you Friday, lads. See you Friday, Alan.
Good luck, chaps. Take care.
Brilliant
See you
stuff.
later. Bye-bye.
Ta-ra, man.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
boys. That's Andy Morrell, Lee Trundle on the Rob and Blakey Commentary Box podcast.
Great to have them on.
Isn't it amazing how
Yeah.
strikers get together and
We
it's
all
like,
chat the same.
Yeah,
yeah,
well-
yeah. We're all, it's
I
Strikers
found a bit
Union.
out as I'm a winger.
Strikers Union, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what they say. You
So
know?
what are you thinking about Friday night?
I think Swansea have to match Wrexham's physicality, and I think Wrexham, where Lee was, Andy was saying there about they dipped for the last game. I think you're coming into that Christmas period now, between now and New Year's Day, where you've got 4 or 5 games back to back to back, and I think if you can manage that, you'd rather have the dip pre it than during it. Do you know what I mean? And I think maybe because of the efforts Wrexham have put into, because they were passive, they were a real passive team, as we said at the start of the season, and they've had to really go some to build this reputation, and what they've done against Coventry and the like. Listen, I think it's going to be an incredibly tough game for Swansea, and if Swansea don't match their physicality, then I can't see them winning the game.
We're talking about tough games. Swansea got Coventry away on Boxing Day.
Yeah.
Oxford away on the 29th, West Brom home on January the 1st, and then January the 4th, Derby away. That's Wrexham. January the 4th, Millwall away, and then West Brom in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Wrexham have got the Blades, your old team, Sheffield United home on Boxing Day, Preston home, Blackburn away, January the 4th, Derby away.
It's not bad, is it?
I know, and January the 9th, Nottingham Forest in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
And they might fancy themselves.
Something to look forward to as well. Yeah. Well, you look forward to every game, but you know what I mean. Coming up against a Premier League team, you always look forward to pit your wits against people who are so-called better than you. So so it's going to be interesting. I would say like the 3 months from the beginning of December to the end of February determines your season.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
right. Determines your season. If you're in and around it. If you're in and around the top or in and around the bottom, come the end of Feb, then you're in a relegation fight or you're in a promotion scrap.
Yeah.
So,
and you talk about pitting your wits against Premier League sides. You're listening or watching the Rob and Blakey Commentary Box podcast. We're loud and clear on Welsh football. Pitting wits at the Cardiff City Stadium were Cardiff City, top of League One, against the World Club Cup champions Chelsea in the League Cup quarterfinals, 4th in the Premier League.
Yeah.
More than 33,000 there.
It just goes
the red stand above, the Ninian stand.
Mate, listen, Rob, you're preaching to the converted, right? You remember going to Scunthorpe? I say it all the time, 5,500. That was in what is the equivalent of League Two now, right? It still blows my mind to this day. 5,500 to Scunthorpe. That stadium, like you began to think, it only fills up with the Welsh international games. But if you get it going properly, then that's what the result is. And Brian By Murphy, I'd like to say, if the club have not tied him down to a contract, listen, you've stumbled on, or you've done some great due diligence and got this manager whose philosophy fits into what fans have traditionally liked to see at Cardiff. And they haven't always had great sort of style football. But like I said, like if you look at Eddie May's era, the reason that Eddie May was so popular is because of the style of football he adopted, which is what Cardiff fans like to see. Good possession, quick wingers, centre forwards scoring goals, good tough midfielders who can create also. And I think Cardiff have got that back. What the owners need to be careful of is that someone else doesn't come along and go, he fits exactly what we want. Because I think they'll go again January or in the summer, signings. And I have no qualms or no worries thinking, I wonder who they're going to sign now. It's just going to be a jigsaw. He will sign players, like Phil Parkinson has done.
Yeah.
He will sign players to make what he's got better, right? And I think if Cardiff can get promoted this season, I look at them, right, a serious contender in the Championship also, because I said to my son, they're Man United fans, unfortunately. That's what happens when you...
Bless.
Yeah.
I blame the parents.
Yeah, I do as well. Right? But watching Man United and Bournemouth the other night, and then watching Cardiff and Chelsea last night, you didn't think to yourself that wasn't another Premier League game.
No.
They were both playing to a Premier League standard, right? Chelsea obviously is with the teams with hundreds of millions, if not billions of pounds. But in comparison, you've got a crop of youngsters with a couple of senior players, and it's all been fitted in together this season. And you think, in football-wise, well, there were times when Cardiff were dominating the game, right? You thought 1-0 up, game's over, and then they get back into the game. Turnbull, great header. But
he played really well.
He played really well. It was almost like the higher standard he plays, the better, because he's played for Celtic in some big games, right? Yeah. And I remember Kenny Miller saying to me how good a player he was. But we haven't seen it enough at Cardiff and that consistency. But I think most fans would have left there last night saying, well, we kind of expect to get beat, right? Up against this machine that is Chelsea and the billions it spends in every transfer window, it seems to be. But for ourselves as a club, see where we're going, what direction we're going in. We're in pretty good shape.
Made some notes last night. These are my takeaways. Mentioned David Turnbull, thought that was his best game for the club. Glenn Williams of Wales Online calculated that the Cardiff bench was worth £6 million, the Chelsea bench 386 million, with Enzo Fernandez, a World Cup winner,
kind of says
on that bench.
Kind of says it all.
And they needed him because Neto and Garnacho came on, made the difference. I retweeted it saying that before the game, that's some cavalry, or words to that effect. That looks like some cavalry
and
ready.
Cardiff, it was a mistake.
And they had to.
Well, it was a mistake as well, right? Yeah. The lad intercepts Lawler's ball, and I would say to Lawler, like, mate, put that behind you.
I thought he was
unbelievable after.
He was.
Right, and that's what I loved as well, that the management and the fans, like, in the 80s, they would have got after you a bit, right? And the manager would have been saying, you're overplaying, which was a statement I never used to understand. How can you overplay? You're just playing football. But what he done then, picked himself up and just carried on playing. And I would say to him, just keep doing it, because what will happen is you'll just get better and better and better at those decisions you make. And you become a better player. You'll make less mistakes. But in order to grow, you have to make mistakes. You're going to make... No player on this planet has ever played the game and not given the ball away, right? And sometimes it's highlighted like last night, but that'll do him more good than bad. And I thought his performance after the mistake just shows what kind of character he's got.
There was one moment just before the goal where he
on
turned
the right-hand
Joe
side.
Pedro
and
on the touchline and moved inside. And I was purring.
Yeah. And I have to say,
and those moments are the things that make games.
Yeah, not just him though. I thought Colwell was.
Yes. Kean Ashford as well.
Davis was like unreal. Kean Ashford, what's his name, Bagan. I thought the kids were brilliant. Goalkeeper, I thought, had a really good game. They all had a really good game.
Without sacrificing the way they want to play.
Yeah, well, like I said, they dominated at times. And I think Chelsea were almost first half at times like playing with an arrogance of, we know when we step it up, we can. But then when they tried to, they realized, actually, this team can do what they do very, very well. And we're finding it difficult. Hence the changes in the second half.
The biggest difference I noticed was the physical strength of those Chelsea players. Caicedo is an absolute beast. And, as good as Joe Colwell played,
you need it all to get to the top.
If you're in a 50-50 with Caicedo and you come out of it, you're thinking
Rob,
that's
you need it all to get to the top. Man.
Yeah, you do.
It's as simple as that. Yeah. If you haven't got, I always say, if you haven't got athleticism and pace, then you've got to have a brilliant brain, right? That helps you decide when to make the right decisions or not, if you're a defender or a winger or whatever. Because not everyone's blessed with pace. But I agree with you. Like, you could see there was, and they're not, it wasn't like you don't look at them and go, wow, they're massive. They're just,
no.
And that's what I say about also when I talk about some of the players at like Newport and what have you, about physically developing and programs for your body. Because some of those players they're not duds. They're not big players, but physically, when you see them close up, they developed, right? The whole 6-pack, the pecs, the shoulders, the thighs, they're developed. And in order to get to the top, you're not going to do it if you ain't, thinking about your body is your tool, right? Your brain.
Again, it was interesting. You made the point, people smiling. I was walking out at the end and I didn't hear one fan say anything bad. They just said, how good was that? Didn't the team do well? Didn't they do us proud? That was their feeling. And you'd like to think now they are away at Lincoln, talk about chalk and cheese, away at Lincoln on Saturday, who are third in the table. Huge game. And as usual, he changed things and he'll change things again. Brian Barry Murphy. Then they got Exeter home, Stevenage home. You'd like to think that some of that 33,000 who are not there regularly when they get 19,000, 18,000, you'd like to think they'll say, I'll go back and watch that because that was something different. You'll get the Premier League star games, of course you will.
Yeah, but that's the point.
They'll pay their money. It's fair game.
And I think you also have to look at the bigger picture. There are some fans who are aggrieved at what's happened over the years. You can't just say to them, "Oh, just forget about it," because you are who you are. You feel how you feel, but it just shows. I think what it shows is the possibilities of the club if run right.
Yeah.
Imagine the owners at Wrexham had come into Cardiff. Just imagine what you would be. They'd probably be talking about extending the stadium to 50,000 by now. And if Vincent Tan is listening or anything like that, that's the possibilities if you run the ship right. And that's why I say it's so important now. Whether you stumbled or done due diligence and got yourself this manager, like, listen, if you haven't got him tied up for 4 or 5 years right now, then, take my advice and do it.
Yeah. Okay. From the sublime to the sort of ridiculous, Newport still rock bottom of League Two. You and I were there against Fleetwood on Saturday, lost 2-0, made just two mistakes before half time. Terrible couple of minutes.
But don't look like
Michael Spellman sent off second half.
Yeah.
And
they
you and I talking about Strictly on the radio.
Yeah, well, they just don't look good enough, Rob. It's as simple as that. No. And I'm not dissing any sort of player or digging anyone out. This is a club. This is what you've put together to challenge in this League Two. It's not good enough. They're not good enough as a team.
And yet I asked Christian Fuchs after the game, talking about raising players, and I said, who lifts you after defeats? And he said, I look at my squad and I see hope there.
Well, I hope he looks again because it's not great, right? And to me, it was I've seen everything I've seen all under David Hughes. There's nothing different. You're not playing direct and you're not playing football. You're trying to do one of two things at the same time. You're not direct, you're not playing out, you try and play out, you get pressed, your players are under pressure, they lose the ball. Why would you then say to them, go and keep playing out from the back? It's like, no, kick the ball, win the ball in midfield and try and overpower. But then you haven't got the players in midfield to overpower the opponent.
No.
You got problems. And the atmosphere for the last couple of games I've been, and especially Saturday, the fans are numb.
Other than Jenkins out.
Because they know what's coming.
Yeah.
Right? You got to remember, this is a Phoenix club. This is a club that's gone and come back. Right? So there'll be fans there. Like I said to you a few weeks ago, I was there with 3 or 4 old boys there who were in the 80s. They've seen it all before. Right? Go back to, the 80s when they went. It's not good enough.
No.
They're not good enough to compete. I think they've lost their academy manager and stuff like that. It's not good down there.
Well, you've got to say, we asked Andy Morrell and Lee Trundle about what their clubs might do in January. January is going to be absolutely huge for Newport because if they don't bring in resources.
Do you know what it's not? Oh, Rob, it's not just players. It's important people who've left behind the scenes. I won't name names, but we know who we're talking about, right? It's important people who have left behind the scenes. And you can't You can't one person run a football club.
Well, that's what's happening at the moment, you think?
And
Yeah.
yeah. You can't do it.
Well, after recording this podcast, I'm heading down to Rodney Parade. So once people are listening and watching this podcast, maybe they'll hear what's happening at the fans forum, because I'm comparing it, and Hugh Jenkins is going to be there. So we'll see what happens.
I'm not that type, because I look and like, I know a lot of people say a lot of stuff, and 9 times out of 10 you just think, yeah, you're just talking like a politician. But I'd love to hear what the plan was and is.
Yeah.
And why do people still say, or managers are still saying, I think the squad's good. The squad's good enough. The squad. You sat bottom of the table
By 4 points adrift, yeah.
and struggling. Don't score goals. Like I said, don't keep clean sheet. Like, what are you talking about? This is football. It get real or get relegated.
We shall see. No game for Merthyr last weekend, but they're back in action in the National League North, third in the table. They're home to Curzon Ashton on
nice
Saturday.
little position,
Sitting really nicely,
Yeah.
and if they have a good Christmas, who knows? And
Yeah.
I know I've spoken to people this week who said, "Joe, I'm going to go and watch Merthyr, because
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
worth watching."
yeah.
Welsh Cup quarter-final draw was made on Monday night. Bangor 1876 will host Carnarvon. Flint Town home
Was
to
it made
Triadur
live?
Bay. Yes, it was. Yeah, it was. Triadur Bay, our contributor Eduardo, they were on the back of a defeat, as I predicted.
Yeah.
And there'll be more predictions coming up. Carnarvon will play Colwyn Bay, and Real 1879 will play Barry Town. Couple of notables, as I said, Triadur beat Newport City 5-3. Caerphilly had a stoppage time. Caerphilly had a stoppage time. Just say Carnarvon. I mean Caerphilly. They had a stoppage time win. Colwyn Bay's Aaron Williams. I got all my notes mixed up. Sorry, so I might be getting this wrong.
It happens when you pass 60.
It does. Colwyn Bay's Aaron Williams scored a hat-trick to beat Pontypridd United, and Flint Town knocked out Penabont on pens. In the Gennaro Adran Trophy, the holders TNS will be home to the 2024 winners Cardiff. TNS beat Pontypridd United 5-1. Cardiff hammered local rivals Swansea City 6-0. And Wrexham, look at our producer, Julie. Wrexham will host Britain Ferry Lansdowne on January the 11th. Wrexham needed penalties to edge out Aberystwyth. Britain Ferry booked their place with a 2-1 win over Barrytown. Apologies, I've got anything wrong on the Welsh Cup, because my notes are all over the place. So,
I reckon you're inside.
But anyway, have a look on the FAW website. The draw is there. And we're having a break over Christmas, are we not?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, I need it. Just need a break from our Christmas jumper.
We've had 20. Well, I hope you'll get it. I hope when your family's around that table and at your bosom on Christmas Day, I hope you're at least going to look Christmassy.
Yeah, I'll have the crown on and all that.
Will you?
Yeah. Pull the cracker, put the crown on.
I think
already
we need
got the quiz
photographic
sorted.
evidence, because I'm not convinced. You've made no effort so far to look anything festive. And we had some lovely guests today. They were expecting to see you.
You're looking at Balthazar, that was the man. I was always in the spirit,
Yeah.
Wise man and all that.
Okay, well, believe it or not, we've got to 21 of these podcasts.
It's been fantastic.
It's been brilliant, yeah.
And the guests, it just keeps getting better and better and better, right? All the guests are all lively. They're all got great opinions. They all understand the game well.
We set a high bar with Jess Fishlock.
We did.
We had BBM.
Yeah.
Lewis Twamley was a joy from
he was great in studio.
Cameron Toshak.
Yeah.
And of course, the two today, Andy Morrell and Lee Trundle.
Do you know I'd like a shout out? So if you're part of a band or anything like that, if you're the Manics or Phonics, I know there's more than that in Wales, but if you're part of a band music scene, they get a couple of musicians on who are football supporters. I always love their take on it.
Well, Tinty and the Bucket Hats are famous Newport fan, and there's a people who follow Wrexham as well did the song, whose name escaped me. I'll try and sort that out. Anyway, you can see the best of the 21 during the Christmas break. We are back on January the 14th live, but just to keep you going through the festive period. When you get bored of the turkey and the family, you can have a look back at the best of the Rob and Blakey Commentary Box podcast, because as you know, we're loud and clear on Welsh football. So we'll be featuring the highlights. I'm sure some of today will feature in that. Hope you have a brilliant festive season, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hope all your clubs
Merry
win.
New Year.
Yeah, hope all your clubs win. Make sure you get to a game, and we'll see you in the new year. Until then, all the best from all of us involved here on the Rob and Blakey Commentary Box podcast. That includes the students who've been fantastic for 21. They've come of age on 21 episodes. We couldn't do it without them, or the people at the USW, the facilities here. So enjoy. We'll be
All the
back bigger than
producers
ever.
and all,
All the
everyone,
producers,
everyone
Julie
on the background.
Kisek, big
Yeah.
shout.
And what about Matthew?
Yeah, and Matt, who
Yeah.
gets us all on air.
Yeah.
But we'll be back, make no mistake, in the new year, hopefully bigger and better. Until then, a very goodbye.